She Makes. I'm Diane, and this is my April roundup. So April has gone and we're now fully into the spring, though it may not always seem like that by the weather that we've been experiencing. I think yesterday and also on Wednesday we had a mix of hailstones, rain, sunshine, so it has been a very eventful start to the spring. But if today is anything to go by, we should be in line for some really nice weather leading up to the summer. I have a few things to show you today, some finished objects, whips and some goodies. So let's begin with Done and Dusted. And the first project I'm going to show you are my March socks. I finished these I think about a week ago. It's the Time Traveler pattern by Liz Sedmak. It's a toe-up sock pattern. I use Judy's Magic cast on to start them. That was my first time using that type of cast on, and it was really quick and fast and easy to do. For the foot of the sock I worked 50 rows. I think that might have been a bit too much because they are a little loose on me. And for the leg I did, I believe, 30 rows, and then I did 15 rows for the cuff. It seems to have stretched out a lot during blocking. You might be able to see it looks a bit loose on the top there. They were quite firm when I put them on, but since blocking they have loosened up quite a bit. When I was making them I was afraid that they were a bit tight, but since finishing them, it's like they've just expanded a lot. But I still like them. I still enjoy them, wearing them. I just have to be careful not to stretch them out any further. And the yarn I used for them was the Whimsy yarns in the Colours of the Underground colourway. I put the details of the dyer behind that somewhere on the screen. I don't have it to hand at the moment, but this is what I have left of that. So I've still got quite a bit. I'll use some to add to my sock blanket, and the rest I'll probably make minis to send out in swaps and things like that. But yeah, I've liked working with this yarn a lot. I was hoping that it would be self-striping or close to self-striping, but it's more variegated, and you do have sort of stripes in sections, probably more noticeable on the heel, but not like a normal self-striping sock. But still I do like the colours and the way everything's turned out with the sock. Make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I made these on 2.25 millimeter needles, so I'm not sure why it came out this big after blocking. Maybe I was a bit too enthusiastic with the blocking, or it could have just been my gauge was slightly out with this yarn, but not to worry, they still fit, but just not as snug as I would like them to. My next finished object for the month is the pennant shawl. This is by, I'll just get the designer's name in a moment. Yeah, I finished this a couple of days ago. It hasn't been blocked yet. I've just about seamed in the ends, but you can see. And I'll put a picture in here to show you how it's supposed to look once as you're wearing it. Yeah, so really liked the construction of this pattern and the way it looks once as it's being worn. They've used Baramu Titus for this. The greenish colour and the pink and blue were minis. I bought these two at a yarn festival, and the blue one I got a few days ago. I realised that I might not have enough to finish it, so I got some extra. but sorry about that. My husband was just standing at the door. I didn't realise he was there. I don't even know how long he was standing there just watching. Little Miss has woken up, so she needs... Oh, sorry, something's making a noise there. She wants some food, so he's just checking when it was she actually ate last. So I will be back in a moment just to check that everything is going on okay in there. Yeah, the pink and the greens I got from a yarn festival, and the darker blue I ordered recently because I wasn't sure if I'd have enough to finish off the whole thing. But judging by what I had left, I might have been playing Yarn Chicken. I don't think I would have, maybe, I'm not sure, but I didn't want to take the risk, so I thought it's best just to get some more. I used one mini skein each for these two, and the darker one I used just under 2 minis for them. Even though I was keeping track of my row counts and the repeats, I still managed to work 1 extra repeat. So it is, I think, a bit longer than it's supposed to, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'm going to have this blocked as soon as possible. I won't really do much blocking to it. I might just stretch out the top bit just to open up the eyelets a little more, just to make them a bit wider or a bit longer. But other than that, I won't put too much stretch, to it. I don't want it to end up being too thin and gappy. Alright, so that's it for my FOs. On to what's on the needles and all hooked up. It is Little Miss Yu's birthday. Towards the end of April, no, towards the end of May, her first birthday. So I decided that I would need to, well, I would want to make her a cardigan so she could hopefully wear it on her birthday. We're going to have a small birthday party for her, just close family, nothing major. So I've decided to make the ribbed baby jacket by Debbie Bliss. I'll put a picture here. That's the picture of the original one, but there's one I've seen on Ravelry, and I really liked the colours that they've used, so I'm basing mine on the similar, on the same colour scheme as that one. I'll put a picture of that here if I can. So far this is all I've done. That's just about 20 rows of work. I haven't done a lot of work to it. It's worked in one piece from the bottom up, and then when you get towards when you've worked the back and cast on for the sleeves, you then separate for the front sides. So yeah, this shouldn't take me long to make. To make this, I'm using, I don't know how to pronounce this, oh goodness me, I'm using sheep, I think it's sheep's, something like that, wool. Try and see if I can get that in focus. I don't know if it will, but it's a merino wool. I'm using Hogarth, and I'll be using this, the colourway for this is Copley. I'll be using this for the collar section. As I said, it's, oh actually no, it's not 100% merino, it's 15% merino, 25% microfiber, 25% acrylic, and there are 105 meters per 50 grams. Yeah, this is really nice and soft, perfect for baby skin or young skin. Even I would like something in this. It's really nice and squishy, and it's nice to work with as well. So yeah, I shouldn't take long to make this. and hopefully there won't be any problems with it once it's made, so she should be able to wear it for her birthday, and I will try and find something to go with it. That will be the other issue, finding something that will complement it. Okay, my next whip is one that I've been very eager to start, just because I wanted to use up the yarn for this. It's the Summer Stripes shawl. I'll put the name of the designer on the screen somewhere. Let me get this the right way. I think it's this way. Or is it that way? No, it's this way. It's the Summer Stripes shawl. I've just started this a few days ago. I'm making this out of the yarn I received as part of the expat yarn swap hosted by Mina. I had 3 options of yarn that I want, patterns I wanted to make with this. I was going to go with another one, but chose this one in the end just because I felt the colours would work a lot better with this. I'm going to try and finish this in May, even though it's going to be my May-June shawl, because of the expat yarn cal taking place on the Knitting Expat podcast group on Ravelry. That finishes at the end of May, so in order to enter this into the cal I will have to finish it by then, but I should do. I could have got a lot further than this on it, but I've been working on other projects, so it shouldn't take me long to finish this. So yeah, I should be done, but I am liking the pattern itself. I'll put a picture of it here. Yeah, I liked the way you had the 2 different sides of the shawl and how the colours will work together. So this should be finished soon, and it's very straightforward to work. I did make a mistake though. For some reason I had 10 extra stitches. One side worked 3 pattern repeats, and I was going to carry on, but then I realized that I might not have enough yarn to be able to do that, as the extra those extra stitches meant I had done an extra repeat within one of the sections, so that also meant it would be wider as it got towards the top, and I'd be using up more yarn. So regretfully I had to frog back. Normally I would have just carried on and just seen it as, maybe try to see it as an extra repeat, but because I have only got 1 skein each of each colorway, I don't want to take the risk of running out, because as it's an expat yarn I can't easily get it available here. And I believe, I can't remember if they were they are hand dyed, but I can't remember if they were independent companies or if they were larger yarn companies. But even if I was to get them, shipping them over from there to here, the cost would be a lot, so I have to be careful with that. So keeping the stitch count the way it is and redoing it, fixing my mistake, means that there's a very good chance I can actually do it with the amount of yarn I have. The only issue is my gauge. I'm working these on a size 5mm and the pattern calls for 4.5, so I had to go 1 size up in order to hit gauge. My gauge isn't always consistent with some patterns. Usually I'm either just about on, or I end up having to go up 1 size, which for a shawl normally I wouldn't mind. I would have just made it without doing a gauge, but because I am short on yarn, I didn't want to run the risk, so I made sure I had the gauge right, and to also make sure the actual size of the shawl would be right. Okay, other whips I have, there's a Cali cardigan by Sublime Yarns. I haven't really done, well, I had to start that again. I spoke about that during the last roundup, the March roundup, and when I picked it up and looked at the what I'd done so far, I realised that my count was all over the place. For some reason, the back had the number of stitches on the back section matched that for the size 12, whereas the stitches for the side sections were way over for the size 12. So I have no idea what I'd done, whether maybe I was planning to do something or if I just cast on more stitches than necessary. So I had to frog everything. Well, I haven't actually frogged it, I've just taken a new ball and started again on another one. This time with that one I was working everything in one piece because I wanted to avoid seaming. But this time I've decided that, you know, I need to challenge myself and get better at seaming and get better at making things in pieces. So I'm making this in separate pieces. So I'm on the back at the moment. I've only done a couple, maybe about 2-3 inches. So it's not really worth bringing out to show you. You can check the March roundup if you'd like to see what it looked like, and also to see what the end result would look like, or even check it on Ravelry. I'll put the details on the screen here. So yeah, I haven't done much work on that. My other whips, I don't think there's anything else. No, I think I've shown you. Yep. Oh, my design project again. I haven't done a whole lot of work on that, though I have finished the front section. I've kind of gone back and forth on it because of wanting to finish other projects, which is why I've decided not to be so strict with myself when it comes to the shawls. I had planned on making a shawl one shawl every 2 months, but I've decided now that it doesn't matter if I'm a few days or a week or so over, or if I start early, as I've done with the summer stripe shawl. That's going to be my May-June shawl, but I've started it a few days ago, so just to give myself a bit of extra time to work on other things, because I would like to get that design project done as soon as possible, because I have ideas for another one I want to do, but I don't want to start too many projects and have too many things happening at the same time. So yeah, so that's all I have really going on at the moment. Okay, I'll just pack some of these things away and then we'll move on to the next segment. Okay, I'm back. So now it's goodies galore. The first item I had come in this month was this. Just look at that colour. This is 50 Shades of Blue by Nora George. The dyer behind that is Tracy. I heard about this yarn whilst watching a podcast. I think it's Cassie and Gus, I think, something like that. And she's talked about this particular dyer and checked her out. Saw this and I thought this has to be mine. I just love this blue. I love the variation in the shades, and I can't wait to see what this turns out to be. I know it will be socks, but I'm just looking for a pattern that I will use this for. As it's my birthday at the beginning of June, I will make these my May socks, so that they'll be ready in time for my birthday. The yarn itself is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 400 meters per 100 grams. So yeah, so I would say check her out, get a skein yourself. I was on, actually, I think it was this morning. Yeah, this morning I was on her Etsy shop, and I think she did have another one of these available. So today is Saturday the 29th of, no, the 30th of March. Oh, sorry, 30th of April. So yeah, have a look on her Etsy store, that's Nora George, and see what you can find on there, because she has a few other things that I would like to pick up. Along with that came some tea. It's an English tea. Okay, I really have to get used to doing this. Yeah, just it's from the English tea shop, and this is peppermint. And this stitch marker, you can just see there, it's a heart stitch marker. It's just that thing dangling down below my thumb. Yeah. You see, whenever I do this and I'm not recording, it works perfectly. As soon as I start recording, it never goes into focus. But yeah, that's just a nice touch as well. Also through the door, I've already spoken about, was these. And then I picked up this also. It's Rico Design Yarns Superba Poems. These are a self-striping sock yarn, so they're going to be socks. I'm not sure what month I'll use these in, but I was on the Deramores website looking for something to make the cardigan for Little Miss. So I thought I'd check out what they have for socks, and I thought, yeah, this would make a really good pair of socks. It's 100%, it's superwash, 100 grams, 420 meters, 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It's virgin wool. So yeah, I'm not sure when I would make these. Maybe June, July, who knows. But as it's self-striping, I won't do any type of stitch pattern to them. I'll just make it straight vanilla sock. So probably more July, August, because it's the summer holidays, and with the triple-arters and Little Miss in the house, and possibly my nephew and maybe my niece and one other child in the house, I'm going to need simple patterns to work on, because I don't want to have anything too complicated that requires too much brain power. So yeah, this would probably be perfect for summer sock knitting. Next I picked up this. This is Loppy Let Loppy. I've heard a few podcasters talking about this particular yarn. It's an Icelandic yarn, and I've wanted it for a long time. So when I saw it on the Deramores website, I just thought I'll just pick up one ball for myself just to see what it's like. So I'm not sure what I will do with this. I mainly got it just to see how it knits up. So I might just do some sort of square, or make a basic cowl or something like that. I'm not sure yet. But this is, I've been trying to look for something in English I can read. 100 meters for 50 grams. There's no shade written here, so I will put that in on the screen somewhere. This is hand wash, so whatever I make from this, it'll have to be something that wouldn't require too much washing. But yeah, it's not sort of next to skin soft, it's very rough, but I think, I'm not sure if it was this particular yarn I was thinking of, but I think maybe it softens up as you wash, once you've washed it. I'm not sure, but even if it doesn't, it would make a nice jumper or cardigan or a hat, but I'm not much of a hat knitter, so yeah, I'll just see what I can do with this. Along with that, I also got this pattern book. I think this was on sale. I think it was about £1. I got this. Yeah, so it's just a pattern book for loppy yarns, for Let Loppy and Iron Band, and I think one of the other yarns that they do. I've had a look through. There are some things that I would like to make for myself. I'll just find one of them. Something like this. I thought that would be great to make. And also, just see if I can quickly find it. If I could do something like this as well, either for myself, if I can. One of the triple arters, I think it's triple arter one, he saw this and he really wants this, so I told him they don't have it in the children's side, it's just in the men's side, so he said it wasn't fair. But they have looked through and shown me the ones that they liked to make. They all liked this one. I'm not sure how clear that is there, not very clear. They all liked that one, and also this other one. Again, it's not a children's size jumper, it's a men's size one. So I told them I'd see what I could do to see if I could either adjust it for children's size or find something similar and then just use the same sort of colorways. So yeah, I'm not sure when I would actually knit anything from this, but at least it's there, and it was only £1. So I thought, it's a bargain, why miss the chance to get one for myself. Lastly, for my goodies was this. It's Lion Brand Woolies. I got this because I want to make a jumper for Mr. U, and he finally agreed to let me make him a jumper. I mainly wanted to do it just because I want to knit a man size jumper. So I thought it would be a great way to practice, knowing I can make it and I have someone right there who I can give it to. And seeing as he's right here, I can be the one to look after the jumper so it doesn't get ruined or lost or nothing else happens to damage it. But Mr. U being Mr. U, when I asked him about colours and textures and stitches, he said I want it black, just plain black. So no other colours. Oh, except he would like to have white along the hem of the sleeves, very thin section of white, so which would basically be one row. And again on the neck, just very thin, so one row of white on the neckline and the hem as well. And he doesn't want any type of stitch patterning, any textures or anything like that, so it will be plain stocking stitch. So yes, it won't be much of an exciting knit to do, but at least at the end of it I would have made a man-sized jumper, and I'll be able to at least see the construction, learn more about the construction of their jumpers. As it's my first man's jumper, I am going to do one that's all-in-one. I finally found a pattern that he liked. I showed him some of the men's ones in the Loppy pattern book. He didn't like any of them. I searched on Ravelry for patterns using this yarn because he said also he wanted it to be a thick yarn, so I've gone with this, which is a worsted weight. and it took forever to find something. I think I ended up going to Pinterest, yeah, and found something there, and he liked it. So I'll try and see if I can put a picture of that here. So yeah, that is something I'm not going to start until the summer because of the size. I want to give myself enough time to make it. So if I start June, July, I can just work on it gradually with the mind to finish it November, December time. So it could be a Christmas present depending on when I finish it. So he knows he's getting it though. I don't think he's wholly bothered on probably when I start and he sees I'm actually doing it, then he might ask a few questions. He might be curious and intrigued about when I'm finishing and how much I've done. But for now, he only remembers when I remind him of it, or the few times I've asked him to make himself available for measuring. So yeah, it will be very interesting to do. So it would be nice to have other stitches in there, and I have asked him, and I probably will ask him again if I can find a really nice jumper that has a simple stitch pattern, nothing too complicated. So then hopefully, you know, he'll agree. But if not, it looks like I'll be doing it in stocking stitch. Okay, that's all of my goodies for April. Make sure I haven't finished. Oh my goodness, no it's not. There's something, it was on the bed, I think it's fallen down. Let me get it and then we'll continue. So I've got them now. My final goodie are these minis from the Naked Skein by the Frankenstein Yarn Company. They have an Etsy shop. I just randomly stumbled upon these and I thought, yeah, I might as well pick them up. They would make a really good shawl. Got delivered to the house, opened the package, pulled them out. Tripleotter too saw them and saw, wow, that's awesome. Can you make me socks? I sighed very, very deeply and said, I'm very sorry, but there's no way I am making you socks because you will lose them. I saw the look on his face. He really, really wanted to use these for something. So I said, all right then, I will use them to make you a jumper. So he cheered and carried on with what he was doing. So I had to say goodbye to my plan of making these into a nice colourful rainbow shawl for myself, and now these will become a jumper for the Tripleotters. I've found some time ago a jumper pattern by Jared Flood. It's called Atlas. I'll put a picture here. Tripleotter 2 was actually sitting next to me when I was looking at this. I asked him what he thought of it. He said it was really good, and we talked about colours he might like inside it, and one of them was red. So when I said I'd make a jumper out of these, I thought it would be a good way to use these. The only thing is I don't have enough to do the yoke section all the way around, so I'm just going to have to do the yoke at the front, because each of these is 51 meters each. The colors aren't so great here. It's a lot brighter and vibrant. I've had to put the blinds down a bit because the sun is just too much at the moment, but I'll put a picture in. You might have seen it already, or I'll do that now, so you can see what this actually looks like. So yeah, it's each mini only has 51 meters in it, so that's not enough to be able to do the back fully. And even to do just the front section, I'm going to have to use 3 colors. which means the sort of background colour will have to be 2 different colours. So I might do it sort of like the section here will be one colour, and the background colour and the background section in the middle would be a contrasting colour. And then I'll have to see what base colour for the body section, what shade colour I can use for that. I haven't finalised how I'm going to group these. They have all selected what colours they wanted, but they didn't all really go together. But Triple Otter 2 does want the red one. He's made that very clear. And as he is the one who asked first, I thought it's only fair that he gets to choose what colour he wants initially. The other 2 weren't happy because they also wanted red. I did contact the seller to see if she had any more of these, because then if I could get 2 more, then I would have enough to even do, I think, to possibly do the whole front and back of the yoke. But this was the only one available, so I'll just have to manage like that. So yeah, I will probably start this when I've finished the ribbed baby jacket for Little Miss, and I've decided to do all 3 at the same time. So I think the pattern is worked from the bottom up, so I'll do the hem of one, then the second and third one, do a portion of the body for the first one, and then the second and third, and work it in that way. So that way, once they're all finished, instead of me starting one, making mistakes, having incorrect row count and stitch count and things like that, and then finishing it, and then taking time before I actually start the next ones. So yeah, if I start them all at the same time, they can be finished at the same time, I can deal with any mistakes that are made at the same time. And I think I'd concentrate on it more, knowing that they would have to come out pretty similar. So yeah, they're all excited about this. I'm excited too. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'll start. Will be when I finish the cardigan, but I'm not sure exactly if I'll cast on the next day or wait a few weeks. So that's all my goodies now. I've definitely gone through them all. I'll pack these away and I'll be right back for the next segment. Okay, moving on to waiting in the wings. Well, there's nothing waiting. I have no plans to, well, not that I have no plans to cast anything on in May, but there's nothing that I've specifically decided on, even though I know the Nora George yarn will become socks and I will start them in May. I'm not exactly sure of, haven't decided on any patterns or anything like that. And yeah, for the rest of the month there's nothing I can see myself really casting on yet, other than socks of some sort. Okay, so moving on to what's on Valerie. As you can see, this is the 3-in-1 sweater by Atelier Alpha. I did finish this in March, but I hadn't seamed in the ends or added any buttons. It's still waiting to be blocked, but I added buttons yesterday. Got 2 green ones at the top, then a red one, and then green ones at the bottom as well. The sleeves are very long, I'm sure you can see. The body itself is fine. It when I wear it, it comes to sort of about thigh length, which is great for me because it means I can wear it with some leggings or a thick pair of tights. So it's great for cool spring weather. It's just the sleeves. Yeah, I don't really know why I made them so long. I think when I tried the sleeves on, I don't know, for some reason I just overestimated how long they needed to be, and I think I messed up a bit with the row count. But it looks okay when I wear it, and I sort of push the sleeves up so that the hem of the sleeve comes up sort of around here. It looks fine for wearing around the house, but going out, I'm not too sure. If I let the whole sleeve just lie straight on my arm, you can't even see my hands whatsoever. It completely covers my hands. So yeah, I do like it all in all, and I will wear it around the house. Outside, I'm not sure yet. Maybe short distances, but nothing. It won't be something that I may wear outside for any major events. At least until I find a way to wear it where it doesn't look so obvious that the sleeves are too long. But yeah, I'm happy with myself for making it. I have seen on Ravelry someone who has done a top-down version. I'm not sure if the whole thing they made was top-down or if they've just done the top-down for the sleeves, but just thinking in my head how it would work. I think if I was to make this again, I probably would do bottom up for the body and then do top-down for the sleeves, so that way I can get them the right size. So this is one I will definitely make again. I want to get this right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want it to be wearable in a sense where I can just go out and say, woohoo, look, I made it, it looks alright, and not say, oh yeah, I made it, but the sleeves are a bit long. So yeah, Valerie seems to like it. So okay, and moving on to the final section, it is the I'm sorry, looking for my phone. It's the word for the month. This is the part of the roundup where I share some scripture with you, hopefully something to encourage you for the coming month. If this isn't your thing, that's fine. I will see you next month, or even better, you can go and check out some of my other videos. If it is for you, then here we go. The word for the month is taken from Romans 8 chapter 38, so Romans chapter 8 verse 38 to 39. And I am convinced that nothing can ever separate us from God's love, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither our fears for today nor our worries about tomorrow. Not even the powers of hell can separate us from God's love. No power in the sky above or in the earth below. Indeed, nothing all in creation will ever be able to separate us from the love of God that is revealed in Christ Jesus our Lord. Well, I think that piece of scripture is pretty much self-explanatory. I think it just emphasizes the fact that there is nothing whatsoever that can take away God's love for us. Nothing that we do, nothing that any other person or being can do that can take away God's love. So we should always be careful not to allow our thinking or other people's words or thoughts or beliefs to cause us to think that something we do or say can cause God to love us any less, or to think that we're going through times of difficulty because God is punishing us for something that we've done. I think in difficult times we should remember that His love is always there for us, and that those difficult times aren't taking place as a form of punishment. It could just be something that's a consequence of something that's happened, or it could just be something that's just happened because it happened. There could be any number of reasons, but whilst we are going through those difficult times, we should always remember that there is a way out. It's not something that will last forever. Those difficult times will come to an end, and when we get through them, we will be stronger. We would have had some sort of life experience. It's a learning opportunity. It's something that we can use to possibly go on to help others. So difficult times shouldn't be seen as a form of punishment or condemnation or to mean that God no longer loves us. It's the time when we should realize God's love even more and know that his love is always there for us, and it's just for us to accept his love so that we're able to fully live and experience it. So yeah, don't let anybody ever tell you that because you've done this, or because you've said that, or because you're wearing this particular item of clothing, because you hang around with a certain type of people, just because of anything, because of where you're from, because of the family you have, because of your background, because of past experiences, that for some reason it means that God can't love you, or he doesn't love you, or you have to stop those things in order to experience God's love. It's not true. His love is always there and will continue to be there for you, and it's ready and waiting for you to receive it. It's just up to us as individuals to decide to accept that love in our lives. So I hope that going through into May, that if you are going through any difficult times, if you are having times of either loneliness or sadness, or times where you feel that things just aren't going right, or maybe you're having a lack of confidence in something, just remember that God is there, that he loves you, he will always love you, and that nothing will ever change that. Okay, so that brings the April roundup to an end. I hope you've enjoyed looking at my projects for this month, the things that come through the door, and also the word for the month. Please join me next month for the May roundup. And also, while you're here, why not check out my other videos? I have a couple of crochet tutorials and a handful of recipes, so check them out and make something for yourself while you're there. And so I will see you next month. Have a great weekend. Bye. Well, have a great week, weekend, day, night, evening, whatever time you're watching this. Bye.